Are you thinking about selling or buying real estate here in Ventura? If so, you're not going to want to miss today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on within our local market. We're going to talk to you about some of the headlines that we're watching, and we're also going to share a couple of our picks from the week that we think you should know about. If you're interested in buying, selling, or investing in Ventura real estate, stay tuned and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay updated about weekly content like this. Now, with all that out of the way, let's jump right in. I'm a local real estate agent here in Ventura, California, helping people buy, sell, and invest. And I really feel like it's my job to help educate people on what's going on in our local market. If you watch the news headlines, you know that they do a lot, and most of it's around scaring people. And think about that for a second, because a lot of the news does not relate to our local market. The stuff that you see online doesn't necessarily translate to what's going on here in Ventura. And that leads me to my first segment where we dive into the data. Here in front of us, we've got the MLS hot sheet for last week, and I wanted to show you what type of movement we had. Now, we saw 17 new listings hit the market last week, 13 price modifications, 21 homes went under contract, 18 closed, 18 went pending, 6 came back on the market, and 5 new coming soon listings were added to the MLS. Now, if you're not familiar with what the coming soon listings are, these are opportunities that you won't be able to see or find online. This is information that is typically only found on the MLS, and you can only access this if you have access through a real estate agent. So if you're looking for this type of information and you want to stay ahead of the market, feel free to reach out or check the description, and we'll give you access to all the coming soon listings throughout all of Ventura County. Now, getting back to the meat of it, like we have 17 new listings, we saw 18 close. Let's look at the stats for the closed sales, because this is going to cover, like I said, Ventura residential homes. And when we look at the sales data, the homes that closed, we can start to see how quickly things are moving. Now, within the last week, the average sales price was $987,000 and some change. The median was $745,000 roughly. Now, we have outliers out there, and if you're interested in learning more about what this all means for you and what it could mean for your home, what your home is worth, let's talk about that. Feel free to schedule time on my calendar using the links in the description. But moving past that, let's take a look at the days on market and the sold to list price ratios. So for the most part, we saw 67% of the homes listed were sold within the first 30 days. Then we started to see some properties sit for up to 2 months and 3 months. And we also have one that was an outlier, but that went out over 120 days. When you want to figure out what this means for you, this is a great opportunity for you to look at a comparative market analysis for your community. This is very important because when you look at pricing your home, buyers are savvy. They're going to have access to this information, and you really want to take into account the recent sales activity in your area and try to find comparable homes to yours. With that said, let's get back over here. So in the last week, we had 18 homes close, and I was going through some of this sales data, and I thought it was interesting because this property actually was hammered before it looked like this, and someone came in and they flipped it, and they flipped it fairly well. I'll say they did some nice updates. When you look at the past listing, you would see that there was water damage, potential electrical, plumbing issues, who knows what else once they got in there, but they did a good job. They updated it throughout. Now, this property is pretty cool because, one, it faces the sunset, so you can catch the epic sunsets. Obviously, from the front yard and in the backyard, you could take a look and catch the sunrises. This is a misleading photo, if you ask me, but whatever. Power of technology. One thing to note about this property is it was actually sold at quite a discount. So when we look at the original list price, $2 million, they sold at 1.7 and some change. They did it pretty quickly, 23 days on market. But getting past that, going into this data, you can see a couple things. When we look at the list price to sales price ratio, anything with a 1 or greater means 100% of asking price or more. So you can see for the most part, things are selling at asking or above. And when you filter it or sort it based on the time on the market, you're noticing that things are going fairly quick. Now there's a couple past 30 days, and then obviously you have this $3 million opportunity, which was a runner-up for deal of the week because it came very close to Seaview. But anyways, it seems like we're seeing more inventory. And one of the properties that I like, that I saw recently, that really caught my mind, actually is our luxury pick of the week. So this one right here over off of Buena Vista is a 5-bedroom listed by Fred Evans. I think this is a beautiful home. And one of the things that I liked about it the most, aside from this patio, the ocean views, you can catch the sunsets all from up here. It is pretty spacious, over 3,300 square feet, but yeah, definitely something to consider. And if you're thinking about making a move to Ventura and you want to take a look at something like this, or you just need help navigating the market, understanding the different neighborhoods, that's something we can help with. So feel free to reach out and we'll schedule some time together. When we looked at some of the recent price changes, I found this one over on Owens to be pretty interesting because I did a CMA, comparative market analysis, and based on the comps for that area, looks like there is some potential upside. Now, it doesn't seem like there is a tremendous amount of upside when it's listed at 785, but they recently did a significant price reduction down from 804,000, which is an interesting number to list at if you ask me. But if you haven't seen this, let's run through it real quick. Let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. Obviously, still owner occupied. Over on the east end, you got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Here's a little overhead view of the layout. And when we look at the comparable stats, you can see it here, 950, 980, 870. You really want to go through each one of these. And if you haven't had the chance to look at it yourself, you really want to take a look at that. But this is all part of the process of pricing your home correctly. Looking at comps, looking at the sales data, taking a look at the stats and the days on market. Price per square foot is irrelevant in a lot of ways unless you're dealing with an exact model match. And even then, it doesn't really necessarily account for any upgrades or updates that you've done to the property. So I like to personally look at the recent sales data with an objective mindset, meaning, okay, if I were to put my buyer's hat on, what would a 3.2 cost in this neighborhood? And then we go based on square footage. Obviously, you want to set parameters. You don't want to be comparing a house that is 500 square feet larger than your house. While you could take it into account, I don't know if it's necessarily the best strategy, but if you need help pricing your home, that's something we can help you out with. And if you made it through this whole section, thanks for sticking with me because there are so many different things that we could talk about. And I'm really curious to hear what you want to know about our current market. As I mentioned earlier, homes are moving quickly if they're priced correctly. So if you're looking to make a move and you need some help, check the description, schedule time on my calendar, and we'll connect and help you out. That does it for our section, dive into the data. Let's shift gears and head over to our next section and talk to you a little bit about some of the headlines and news that you may have missed within the last week. In our next segment, the Mo You Know. So you might not have heard about this, but as new economic numbers come out, we have a lot of movement within the mortgage rate space. So in order to show you that, let me just shift gears to show you what we're looking at over on Mortgage News Daily. In here, we'll see a couple things. We've got 30-year fixed and the various different loan options. The blue here is Mortgage News Daily survey, where currently we're looking at around 6.6%. Now, you might notice that rates are bouncing around. They took Monday off due to the holidays, and with that, we'll see where they go. But one thing you might want to be paying attention to is what's going on in the economy. There's a couple things that we're really paying attention to. And that brings me to one of the other headlines we're looking at. With inflation rate hitting 2.4% in September, topping expectations, jobless claims are on the rise, and they're the highest they've been since 2023. With 258,000 jobless claims, it's trending in the wrong direction for the labor market. But at the same time, we also see inflation picking up. Now, what does this all mean for the person that's looking to buy or sell? It seems since we got this news that rates have increased, and it sounds like there is still a potential for a rate cut at the next meeting. However, if you've watched my videos before, you know that the federal funds rate has no direct tie to mortgage rates. Mortgage bankers typically price in all these moving parts into their rates, and they fluctuate daily based on a lot of different things. Now, the one thing you might want to, other headlines you might want to pay attention to is the weekly demand for mortgages dropped last week. And actually, this is all coinciding with how rates jumped. So if we go back over here to the 30-year fixed, people were in the market getting stoked around 6.2, was even down to 6.11. We were down here and people were showing up. I had clients reaching out saying, hey, we're ready, we're thinking about it. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're back to 6.62. One thing to keep in mind is rates change daily. I mentioned it earlier. They take the holidays off, so just be aware of that. And they don't work on the weekends. Some lenders do, but rates do not. So with all that said, that's where things are at the time of this video. One thing I found very interesting was there are a lot of people pulling out home equity, and with consumer debt being at all-time highs, it seems to be, in my opinion, and I am no expert on the economy or anything related to that, I just listen to the news and watch various news outlets and look at the data. I see that there might be some stress on the homeowner, and that might be why they're pulling out equity at the highest levels that we've ever seen. So when we look at the home equity loans, they actually grew to the highest level since 2008, about 24 billion in home equity loans during Q1 and Q2 of this year. And that's interesting to me because I feel like there might be homeowners out there that are feeling the pressure. They might be at a point where they're feeling inflation, they're feeling job loss or future job loss, and they're trying to be proactive and use the home equity that they've built as a cushion. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. Everyone's always asking me, what's going on with the foreclosures? Where are the foreclosures? I think there's going to be a crash. And the thing that you should know is that a lot of homeowners have, one, refinanced and built up so much equity that their monthly payments are affordable, or two, they can tap into that equity by using home equity to essentially cover themselves in the event that they lose their job. Now, I'm not hoping that anyone loses their job because I do want to see everyone succeed and grow, but this is a very interesting place to be with 24 billion in home equity loans in the first 2 quarters of this year. Now, this is information provided by CoreLogic. So again, I'll link this into the video description, but that's just one of the pieces that you should be paying attention to. And if you're interested in learning more about what's going on on a weekly basis, but you don't have time to sit through a video, I go through it all in my Monday market update on my website. So feel free to check the description and access my weekly blog there. We also have a lot of other great content over there, including different guides. So if you're thinking about selling your house or if you're thinking about buying, we've got you covered there. We also have a tool where we can get you multiple home value estimates by just entering in your information. Now, this is going to stay between us. I never sell anyone's data. This is a very personal relationship. So when you put your information in here, just know that I will be the one personally reaching out. And my systems are set up in a way where your data does not get shared. So I feel like I have to mention that because I know we all get so many dang spam calls. If you are thinking about getting into the market and you want to stay in the loop or at least start preparing for your next move, whether that's buying your first house or buying your next house, maybe you need to sell your house in order to make that purchase. In our Ventura County Home Buyers Guide, we've got it all broken down for the entire process. We even include a lot more information about the transaction, the escrow process, all the different things that you need to know about when you are buying a new house. So again, all these links will be in the description. Feel free to check that out. One thing before we go, I just wanted to slide this over here because in the next couple days, we're going to launch our newest listing. Now, this is an opportunity not in Ventura, it's in Port Hueneme, but it's a great 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo with a loft, attached 2-car garage, in-unit laundry, and it's only $495,000. Now, this property I think is going to go very quickly because of its location, the amenities and updates, but pretty good starter home. And again, if you ever have interest in the coming soon opportunities, you can always go to our website, and in here we can get you set up with all the coming soon properties. And if you're looking to learn more about Ventura itself before you move here, check out our guide to finding your perfect neighborhood in Ventura. And I want you to know that while I'm based in Ventura, I cover all of Ventura County. There's mountains, we've got beaches, we've got everything that you could ever want. And if you are thinking about moving to the area, feel free to send me a message and we'll help you out. That does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said earlier, if you have any comments, any feedback, feel free to let me know in the comment section below because this is a new project for me. I'm trying to push through this urge to not make this kind of content, but we're committed to it and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or need anything, I think I said that 15 other times, but I just want to let you know you can always reach out. With all that done, I hope you have a great week and we'll talk to you next time. I forget I need to turn this off, but hey, I'm still here. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook if you're interested in getting social and see what your home's worth. Get your phone out. And I got a ton of other content, so if you want to see some of my recommended stuff, go that way. Or you can see what's up next, and we've got different playlists, local stuff, all the goodies. Until next time,